Let me ask you something real quick before we even get started. What if I told you that the most important linebacker on the Chicago Bears roster this year might not be Tremaine Edmunds, might not be TJ Edwards, and might not be Noah Sewell either? What if I told you that the name we all need to be watching, the name you're going to hear in every meeting room, every practice field whisper, and every jaw-dropping preseason highlight, is Ruben Ippolite, a fourth-rounder, a combine snub, a so-called afterthought, who is right now on the verge of flipping this entire Bears linebacker room upside down and possibly even forcing the front office to make some franchise-shaking decisions? I know, it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, this thing is real, and it's building, and it started right here. Hippo Hive isn't just a nickname, it's not just some fun little thing we're saying. It might turn into a full-blown movement by the time camp wraps up, and you're gonna want to say you were on board from the jump, because what this kid is doing, it's wild, it's fun, it's low-key terrifying for the veterans, and it's absolutely the kind of story that NFL teams pretend they saw coming even though they had no idea what was about to hit them. So let's go back for a second and look at how we got here. Because the path this dude has taken is almost mythological. Overlooked by analysts, graded as a seventh-rounder or worse, didn't get invited to the Combine despite being a four-year starter at Maryland, didn't get the calls he expected, and when the scouts told him, "Nah, you'll run at your pro day," he didn't fold, he didn't complain, he got out the mud, and he put up one of the most shocking 40-yard dash times in the entire draft class. 4:39. Are you kidding me? That's wide receiver speed in a linebacker's body, and that number alone should have forced everyone to sit up and pay attention, but somehow they didn't. Somehow he kept slipping under the radar. Except for Ryan Poles, except for this Bears front office, who sat there and said, "We're taking him in the fourth round. Forget the consensus boards, forget the media grades. We know what we're seeing." And now, with OTAs in the rearview mirror and training camp barreling toward us like a freight train, we're finally seeing what they saw. Because I'm telling you, Ruben Ippolite is making plays, earning trust, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible for a rookie linebacker. And the craziest part? He's not even playing his natural position. This is a guy who played Mike all throughout college, a commanding, vocal, downhill thumper in the middle of the defense. And now, thanks to a soft tissue injury to TJ Edwards, he's been tossed into the WLB spot, a role he's never played before. And not only is he holding his own, he's flashing in ways that are hard to ignore. And I mean really flashing, like coaches rewinding the tape kind of flashing. And you know it's real when Ben Johnson, who's not known for gushing over rookies, singles him out in a press conference as the most improved player on the team during spring practices. Like, whoa! That's not just a compliment, that's a signal flare. That's the coaching staff telling us, hey, don't sleep on this guy. And when you combine that public praise with how the reps have been split and how little competition is truly in front of him, I mean, let's be real, Amen Ogbongbemiga is a special teams first, linebacker second type of player. Noah Sewell is still raw, still growing, still more potential than production. And Hippo? He's learning fast, adjusting faster, and building the kind of momentum that matters when pads come on. And let's not downplay that either, because, yeah, sure, OTAs and minicamp are nice, but everybody knows the real test comes when the pads are on, when it's full contact, when the hitting starts and the tempo spikes and the veterans start flexing their muscle. That's when we find out if a rookie is the real deal or just a springtime fluke. And the way the Bears are talking about Ruben Ippolite, the way they're giving him opportunity after opportunity, it's obvious. They want him to win this job. They want him to take LB3 and never give it back. And why wouldn't they? Let's talk roster building. You already paid Edmunds and Edwards. They're locked in. But what if you could get a high upside, high speed, high character linebacker for the next 4 years on a rookie deal and slowly phase out a guy like Edmunds who, let's be honest, has been fine, not bad, not great, just fine. And when you're paying a guy $18 million per year, fine doesn't cut it. And that's why this whole thing is way more suspenseful than people realize, because Ruben isn't just competing for LB3, he might be auditioning to replace a high-priced veteran as early as next season. And if he even flirts with being a reliable contributor this year, the front office will have a tough, cold financial decision to make. Do we keep overpaying for experience, Or do we roll with youth, speed, and upside on a rookie contract? That's how teams evolve. That's how dynasties are built. Not by chasing headlines, but by drafting smart, developing from within, and trusting the process when a player shows he's ready. And Ruben? He's showing it, not just on the field, but off it too. Go watch one of his pressers. Listen to how he talks, how calm and confident he is, how focused and coachable. And it starts to make sense why Ryan Poles and company were so high on him, why that top 30 visit left such a strong impression. He's not just athletic, he's built for the grind, mentally tough, emotionally stable, a locker room asset who studies like a quarterback and plays like a missile. And when you mix that intelligence with that speed and throw in that chip on his shoulder from being snubbed all offseason, you get something dangerous. You get a story that could become a turning point in the Bears' rebuild, a story we'll look back on and say, yeah, that's when things started shifting. Because if Ruben Hippolyte takes control of LB3, plays well on special teams, and shows he can step in when needed, then by next year, Tremaine Edmonds is on the trading block, cap space is freed up, and the Bears are riding into 2026 with a new core at linebacker and more money to spend elsewhere. And let me be absolutely clear, I'm not saying the kid is a Pro Bowler already. I'm not saying he's the second coming of Roquan Smith. What I am saying is that he's positioned himself for a very real opportunity, and that's half the battle in this league. Get in the door, stay healthy, make plays when they matter, and the door opens wider. And if he strings together a strong camp, makes a couple splash plays in the preseason, maybe forces a fumble, maybe gets a TFL or two, maybe takes someone's head off on special teams, then the media can't ignore him, the fans can't ignore him, and the coaching staff won't even try. He becomes part of the plan, not just the depth chart. And that's why this story is so much fun to follow, because it's happening in real time, right in front of us. And if you're a Bears fan, you should be rooting for this with everything you've got, not just because it's a feel-good story, and although it definitely is, but because this is how championship teams are built, by finding those overlooked dogs who claw their way into relevance, and Ruben Hippolyte is clawing hard. And look, I get it, he's still got to prove it, he's still got to earn it with pads on. But if you're paying attention, you're already seeing the signs, the quotes, the body language, the film, the growth curve. And if that trajectory continues, don't be surprised if by the end of this season, we're not talking about whether Ruben is a future starter. We're talking about when, and if it happens, just remember where it all started. Right here, your Hippo Hive. Baby, get it trending. Get it printed on shirts. Because if this thing explodes, you're going to want to say you were part of it when no one else believed, before the national media caught on, before the depth chart flipped, before the highlight reel got cut. Because if Ruben Hippolyte becomes a star, this won't just be a story. It'll be a moment, a shift, a statement that in Chicago, the monsters of the Midway aren't just coming back, they're being reborn.